When you do the first annual general meeting in 47 years of existence, you expect a lot of people. So you pick an auditorium at a stadium. After all, you have 4.2 million members. Surely, many of them will come. For the National Social Security Fund, that was not the case. In fact, the empty seats at the Kasarani Sports Centre stubbornly taunted the state fund's managers, but there was no shortage of optimism.
We have reached a point of no return. We have, sometimes it is good to learn from your history, but it's not good to live in history. We have had not such a stellar history, and we acknowledge that. We have learned from it, and that is why now we are instituting all the changes we are doing.
The history he talks about is one of the darkest in corporate Kenya, with possibly billions of shillings of taxpayer savings lost in many shadowy deals and blatant corruption. Even as the NSSF held its AGM, the government's own Auditor General raised alarm about new irregular land transactions, where the NSSF may have lost as much as 1.34 billion shillings. But the fund insists that is a thing of the past.
The board does not do any investment decisions anymore. What we have come up with an investment policy. Once we have come up with a policy, we have given our investment funds and portfolio to 6 fund managers. The only thing we hold them to account is that we have signed service level agreements with them. Our service level agreement says, it's a very simple agreement. It says you give us a return of 4% above overall inflation.
The fund has begun a flash rebranding exercise underpinned by good governance and accountability. For the first time, NSSF has even released its annual report and financial accounts to the public to allow its 1.4 million active members to judge its financial position. It is receiving support from some unlikely quarters, workers' unions.
And I want to assure you that NSSF has tried to build up capacitance to hold whatever it is going to receive from members. We have new structures which provides for general managers. We have several managers. These were not there before for checks and balances. And 2, things have changed. Things will not, I can tell you, since the administration of President Kibaki came in place, nobody has called me as a trustee on that board from State House. So things are changing.
NSSF will convert into a universal pension scheme should a draft bill sail through Parliament. The fund currently has about 110 billion shillings and is one of the largest institutional investors at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The NSSF Transformation Bill will see monthly contributions from all formerly employed workers increase from the current 200 shillings per month to 12% of basic pay, split in half between the employer and the employee.
I want to assure Kenyans, through you members of the media, that we are doing everything to stop any leakages or perceived leakages. But we will correct the mistakes that were done before. This board will not be shy to correct the mistakes that were done before.
You know, NSSF and what it's doing actually is trying to save those people who retire without knowing where they are going. Because whatever 6% you are talking about is a saving.
There was a light moment at that NSSF AGM when Finance Minister Njeru Githai, who was the guest of honor, was given his contributions to date from the NSSF. Apparently it's just over 79,000 shillings. He was not too pleased.
How long can I live with 79,000 shillings? Eh? Yeah?
1 day.
That is less than 2 months, which means then for the next, if God gives me another 30 years, which means for the next 29 years, I'll be a pauper. And yet I've worked for 15 years. I think this underscores the need to increase our contribution.